Well, welcome to Tough and Tender. I'm your host, Ric Drasin, along with my co-host, Ina Tuller.
That's me.
And we're here to talk about relationships and various things that happen in relationships with families and friends and boyfriends and girlfriends and children and dogs and animals and bears. So, and we have our bear with us today, who's our little mascot. We've chosen a subject today, which I think is kind of important because we all get older, and certainly everybody but me
Absolutely.
ages. I remember when I was 20 years old, I had a friend that was 30, and I said, God, you're old. Now looking back, it's like, it wasn't so old.
And now you see somebody who is 30 and he's just a baby.
Just a baby, exactly.
Right?
But you know, you see people who are in their 80s and 90s, and they're moving kind of slow, and you communicate with them, and you find out they've lived a full life. They have a lot of history to tell. And so many times in this world, people slough off the elderly. It's like, well, they're old. You don't want to talk to them. They're hard of hearing, so you don't try. They move slow, so you don't ask them to do anything. And I think it's wrong because approaching that lifestyle, or not that I am going to, but because I'm active, but my mom and other people in my life have, you have to have respect for them. And I think having respect for elders, it sometimes comes with age, because when you're young, you just discount it. Don't you think?
When you're young, you don't appreciate it. You don't know. You think that you're so young that it's never going to happen to you. But, you know, surprise, you are getting older, and you will be at that age, and you will be asking the same questions, and you'll find yourself in the same situation. So, you know, treat those elderlies with respect, because you would like to have the respect back when you grow up.
You said something that, you know, we will always reach that point at some time.
Yes.
And then we'll be in the passenger seat and taking all the abuse or whatever is going to be thrown at us. But it's a true fact. When I was wrestling, and I was 21, 22, 3 years old, living in Santa Monica, I used to go to Zicky's Delicatessen in the morning, and I would hang out with some of the guys from the stock market, but they were ex-wrestlers or they were current wrestlers. Freddie Blassie was one, Bruno Sammartino was one. They were all in their 40s and 50s at the time. Some of the other retired guys were in their 70s and 80s, but they still thought young, and I would go and have breakfast with them. I listened to their stories and things they'd tell me about things they were doing and things in life, and I learned so much.
It's a matter of attitude.
Yeah.
It's really, you need to change your attitude to when some people grow older and they become sluggish and they become to be upset or depressed, or I'm aging, I'm close to death. I mean, they look in the mirror and say, oh, you know, another wrinkle, and with that attitude, you get older faster.
Yeah.
And there's some people that just, they never grow old, even if they're old. It's a matter of attitude and a lifestyle. So being positive, I think it's one of the biggest thing that you can do is just change your attitude to be positive, and then you're happy, you're positive, you age slower. It's
very true. I mean, it is an attitude. My mom was 97 when she passed away, and she had a very young attitude, and so no one believed that she was that old, because she was very proud of the fact that she didn't look it. But that was another thing, and also her nutrition wasn't as good as it could have been, because old school people never really realized how to eat and how to take care of themselves.
Nutrition is important. There are certain things that everyone who's younger and everybody who's growing older should have.
Absolutely.
You know, it's fruits and vegetables and protein.
Yes.
And nuts and.
Well, we're going to get to that, because we have one of our questions at the bottom about anti-aging and skin, and I want to keep that point, because it's very, very, it's a valid point. Gaining knowledge with age. I mean, come on, that's where history books were written. And I have my website, ricdrasin.com, and Ric's Corner, which I go back into the history of bodybuilding from the 70s. And I wouldn't have known all this back in the 70s. It took years of getting older and writing the history about what happened back then. Now I've created this audience that wants to know all the things that happened back then, because I'm older and I can relate to them what happened. They actually recognize the fact that I have a history behind me.
Yeah, you have a history. It's like carrying a library with you.
Exactly.
You know, and you can borrow this book and that book. You can share stories. You can storyteller to the younger people, and they learn from it. You know, you become the wise now. Right. That's sharing the experience to teach the younger generation and give them more advice as how to do it better.
Well, on the internet you have the Wikipedia. And that's
Wikipedia.
And now what I have is the Rikipedia.
I have it on my bookshelf at home.
The Wikipedia is my history and my life and what I've done that I'm relating to everybody else in wrestling, bodybuilding, and life in general. So
and I have mine in the office.
Huh?
I have mine in my business. Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I teach my people every day.
I've learned from you.
Something out of my experience.
I've learned from you.
I learned from you.
Now, you also, number three. You don't want to ignore the elderly. I mean, I've seen people that in a party or a family setting, and the older guy or the grandfather sitting across the room, and no one's talking to him, and they ignore him. And I think two of the reasons, like my mom had this problem, is hearing. Number one, they can't hear you.
What?
Yes. What did you say?
What did it say?
They can't hear you.
You said it one more time.
And they're just slow in responding, and so you feel like everything is at speed nowadays. You got to get a fast response, and you get impatient with all that kind of stuff. But you have to be patient with that because you can be young and hard of hearing.
Well, think about when we were babies, and our parents were very patient with us.
Yeah.
They made sure we eat, and slow or fast or burp and whatever. They
Right.
they made sure that we eat. They made sure that we sleep. We made sure that we have the right nutrition, the right education. They teach us how to walk. They teach us how to approach certain things in life, and they're patient of doing this. I mean, they teach us all the way through our adult life.
Right.
Okay, and then now we are adults, and now they're getting older and they're getting slower, and we have to give them the same patience and the same respect as they gave us when we were babies, when we were kids.
And it's so easy for people not to do that.
It's easy because we don't have patience. I'm busy. I have a schedule. I have my stuff. And talking to mom and dad, and then they're slower and they need some stuff, and they kind of become to be needy. People don't have patience for
They
that,
don't.
and they think they have. And again, they still think that they're never going to get to that age. It's never going to happen to them. They're always going to be 25 years old. They're
Also,
not.
teenagers and people in their 20s, I'm not saying everybody, but there's a certain amount of them that they want to have a quick life. They want to run out with their friends. They got to go out. They got to go out. They might grab something quick to eat and go out for the night where they don't sit with their parents and talk about stuff. I always felt that one night a week you should sit down with your family and spend some time.
Absolutely.
Because your parents raised you, they want to talk to you, they want you around. They don't want you just to eat and run out the door all the time because there's lack of communication.
Kids need you to spend quality time with them.
Absolutely.
Parents need the kids to spend quality time with
Absolutely.
them just the same way.
It's just the same way.
Yeah. I need my kids. My kids complete me.
Yeah.
So if I don't have them to talk to them and to share with them and to discuss things with them, I'm not complete.
Well, I'm the same way because my kids bring over all my parts I leave behind when I walk. They bring them, we put them back together. It makes me a whole person again.
Like a puzzle.
I'm like a puzzle. Yeah, it's like a cookbook. You got to have all the ingredients to make me work. But you don't want to ignore them. You want to sit down and communicate and talk. My grandmother lived till 96, and she took care of me a lot when my parents were working during the day and on the weekends. And I really enjoyed being with her because she had stories upon stories upon stories to tell me. And at the time, I'm thinking, these are really good stories. And today, I really value what we did.
And you want to be included in what's happening
Exactly.
with your children. That you want to be invited to dinners. You want to be part of their gatherings. You want to be part of the family. Don't ever leave your parents alone. Don't leave them. Don't leave them out. Don't make them feel like they don't need it anymore because okay, you've done your job now. It's my time to party. That's just not fair.
It's not fair. But I'm going to not go off topic, but I'm going to relate to something I told you about once you haven't seen it. There's a movie called Big Fish, and it's about a man who's going to die, and his son doesn't ever believe anything he tells him. He tells him about all the people he grew up in his life, the circus people, this one, and his son would say, it's just a bunch of lies. My dad never did any of those things. He just talk and don't even listen to him. And so it was like family get-togethers. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, he passed away, and they had the funeral. And every person in his life that he talked about, whether it be the midget in the circus or the giant, showed up at the funeral.
Wow.
So it proved that he was valid in what he was saying. So when your parents sit and tell you stories, they're not just making it up sometimes. It's the real fact, and you better take it for what it's worth. I mean, I have stories I tell my kids, and they know it. And they're true, and one day they'll find out.
Your stories, your history becomes to be your children's stories and history because
Exactly.
they carry it. They came from you, so they're gonna move that to their children, to the next generation.
Right.
And this is how the legacy builds up.
That's exactly how it builds up.
Yeah.
And you want to leave a legacy as well. The other thing is you move slow when you get older. I move slower than I did when I was 30. I don't think it's because of age. I think it's because of injury. But when you go somewhere, you have to move kind of slow, and people have to understand you can't go as fast as you want to go, and they have to be patient and let you take your time. They can't push you through.
They have to let you sit in the bus when all the seats are taken. They have to be courteous.
Exactly. Now, aging, and how do you prevent that? We all age. Skin ages, bone ages, everything. Your hair ages, it falls out, it turns gray. Whatever, but there are ways that you can prevent this or at least cope with it and make it better.
And in our society and nowadays, everybody wants to look younger,
Yeah.
look like they're 30 years younger, and a lot of times it is. I mean, with you know, if you eat right and you exercise, then the 90 becomes the new 50. And it's possible, but you have to kind of be at that standard all the time. Otherwise, you look good, but you not look good enough. So it's tough. So, but it's possible. And again, attitude is one of the things.
Yeah.
And good nutrition and good exercise and attitude. Take care of your health. You know, do the checkups, take your supplements, and age gracefully.
There's a lot of truth in that, because they say you are what you eat, and this is very true. I mean, I've always been cautious about what goes in my body, and it radiates through your skin.
You eat something sexy every morning?
I eat something sexy every day, and that's why I'm sexy as I am right now. But I take care of my skin, and I use the right creams and moisturizers on it.
Your skin looks really good today, by the way.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's
pink and happy.
Yeah, I know. And happiness also helps.
Absolutely.
But your nutrition and exercise help. Now, I stopped to get gas earlier, and it's not in a very good area, and there's people in the alleys hanging out, and you can see that they've had a bad life, whether it be drugs or alcohol or whatever, and they're just up against the wall standing there, and you can see their skin is just bad. It's gray.
It's tired.
It's tired, and it's bad, and it's lack of nutrition, it's lack of exercise, lack of being happy.
Lack of care.
Lack of care.
They don't care.
They don't care, and no one cares for them.
That's the problem.
And that makes me feel bad, because these people were all young babies at one time with a mom and a dad who groomed them, took care of them.
And a baby skin.
And baby skin. And now they're older people, maybe not as old as I am. I don't think any of them are.
Probably
but
not.
no one cares about them.
No.
And so it brings me to number 7. You have to have long-term care. You have to have a living trust. You have to tell your parents that, you need somewhere as you get older you're going to go into some sort of a home or whatever, or at least live in my home.
You have to be prepared. You have to be prepared.
Yeah.
You have to share that with your children,
Yeah.
your significant others, as far as the living trust, the will, the insurances. Everything needs to be organized. You have to make sure to take care of your affairs.
Right. And it's not something that you
And it's
really,
okay if they ask you. I mean, don't take that wrong.
Right.
Because they don't know, the kids don't know, and they need to know. They
Right.
need to know if something, God forbid, happens, what do they do?
Yeah, they don't know what to do with you.
They don't.
I know where I want to go. I want to be stuffed, propped up with one eye open so I can see what's going on.
You want to dance on your own funeral?
But you have to have some sort of a plan as you get older, what's
Plan
going to
is
happen.
important.
Hopefully it won't be for a long time. And the other thing is that we had talked about this. There's a question that my mother-in-law wants all my time and attention. So how do I handle that and keep time to myself? Well, one of the things I was talking about is the elderly want time and attention. They want you to pay attention to them.
Yeah, they feel lonely.
They're
Sometimes,
lonely.
the husband passed away, and suddenly your mother-in-law is all by herself.
Right.
She's lonely. All the kids left, or they live far away. It's okay to give her the attention and give them that respect.
Yeah, on a personal note, my mom...
She might put you in a will.
Yeah, my father. Yeah, right. My father passed away when I was 18. My mom moved in with her grandmother. But every day I called her, took care of her, and let her know that I was there. That's really important as a child or a son or a daughter, that let your parents know you're there for them. You got to be there for them. Or your grandparents, or somebody who's older. Maybe it's a neighbor who has no friends. Take them out to eat once in a while. Spend some time with them. It will make your day and make their day. Absolutely.
I agree. And as you grow older, you have more time on your hands.
Right.
So you want to fill it up with friends and family, activities. There are so many places you can meet other older people
Sure.
and get together and do a bunch of stuff. They put buses of people and they go to Vegas and they have a good time.
Oh, they have a great time.
They have a lot of time on their hands, and they can now actually travel and buy. They have the money to spoil themselves, and spend time with the family.
Right.
Because what else is there? Family is really important.
It is important. So, take somebody out. Go find somebody who's around you that's older, that you're friends with, that doesn't have anybody around them. Take them out to lunch. Spend a little time. Listen to them. Ask them about their history. They'd be willing to tell you. We have a man in our gym that trains every day. He was a soap opera producer for years. He comes to the gym by himself, in his car, works out hard. He's 100 years old.
God bless him, Wes.
And he's there every day. So this is important. I have a tip of the week, which I kind of think works. People tell me, you're getting older, you have to slow down. You better slow down, you're getting older. I think you got to speed up, and I'll tell you why. Time's short. I got to get more done in a short period of time, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
Keep moving. Keep
Absolutely.
being busy. Keep producing. keep going out there and search and live.
Right. A busy mind is an active mind, is a healthy mind.
Yeah, you don't have time to get old.
You don't have time to get old. And this is all about relationships, because you have families and you want the families to be part of your life and they want you to be part of their life. And so if you take these little things and think about them and make them work for you, you'll have much more fun at a family, and everybody will have a good time. Everybody will walk home and go away happy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we grew older. Now what?
We grew older and wiser. That's all I want to say.
You know, it's easier now to get wiser. That wise decisions come much easier now because we have
They
all
do,
this
don't
experience.
they?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, you know our little bear friend here.
Hello.
He's for Valentine's Day, but he's actually all year round. BigPlush.com manufactures these bears. They're 5 and 6 feet tall. There's gorillas. There's all types of animals. And they sent me a few for the holidays. But for Valentine's, this is a great gift for somebody in your life that's a special person. They're cuddly. You can lay them on the floor. I mean, I can lay them, watch TV on the floor. They come big. The dog likes it. You know, it's just something to take around. I put them in the carpool lane so I can drive on the freeways.
And he smiles.
But you can get these bears and the gorillas at BigPlush.com. They have an assortment of colors, and they come with T-shirts if you want, with whatever you want to put on the shirt for whoever you want to give the gift to. Excuse me, I have a bear cough. And if you use my name, Ric Drasin, at BigPlush.com, they'll also enclose, I think it's a 6-foot rose, which is part of the gift. It's huge.
Yes, saying, please be my Valentine.
Please be my Valentine,
Yeah.
or please be my loved one. It doesn't have to be Valentine's Day, but this is coming up soon.
Next
so
Friday.
I would definitely order one if I were you and use my name. It's definitely worth some money, and whoever receives it will be thrilled to death.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Send us the pictures with it.
Yeah, send us the pictures. We'll put them on the air. That'd be great. Well, thank you, Ina, for today. This was great.
Thank you, Rick.
And I feel so much younger now talking about this. I got it out in the open. I vented my spleen, and I do feel better. And thank all of you for watching next week at 1 o'clock on Tuff and Tender, right here. Where are we?
We are on
emPOWERme.tv.
emPOWERme.tv.
How easily you forget. So stay
Tuff
tuned
and
next
Tender.
week at 1 p.m., and we'll both be here, probably wearing the same clothes.
No.
Hi, I'm Ric Drasin, Tuff and Tender. I'm here to answer all your questions on dating, relationships, the good side, the tough side, the tender side, every Friday, 1 p.m. on emPOWERme.tv. I'd love for you to subscribe. I'll be here. We'll be discussing relationships and dating and all the good, the bad, the pitfalls, and the ugly of it. Stay tuned and watch me next Friday, 1 p.m. emPOWERme.tv. Subscribe now.